One of the golden rules of Big Brother is that if you win the HOH, you have the power for the week. You get to make the initial nominations, you get to decide the re-nomination, and most of all, you are completely safe. The entire flow of the round revolves around your decisions and desires. But sometimes, Big Brother chooses to break that golden rule, and your HOH becomes someone else's. Throughout Big Brother history, there have been a handful of twists that allowed one player to effectively take over the HOH's reign, which, as you can imagine, leads to some unhappy campers and a complete and total shift in the tides. Consider subscribing if you aren't already, or like the video if you want to help out that way. And without further ado, here is the complete history of overthrown HOHs in Big Brother.
You lied to my face.
I didn't write it.
Why are you taking my HOH?
It's a game.
Oh, also, I won't be counting the Battle of the Block in this video because that's not really the type of overthrowing I'm talking about here. Also, overthrow as a term has a bit of a wide range here, but just stick with me.
This is literally a nightmare.
The first time that Big Brother ever experimented with the idea of giving someone the power to overthrow an HOH came during Big Brother All-Stars, when the producers dropped a series of clues throughout the house. And the first person to correctly solve the riddle would receive the Coup d'etat. The Coup d'etat was a power that would allow for the holder to stand up just before the players went to cast their eviction votes, remove one or both nominees from the block, and then replace them with whichever non-immune players they wanted to. And then the vote would proceed as normal. Mike Boogie won this power, but unfortunately for Big Brother, the power went unused. Or it was taken away from him, but that's neither here nor there right now. So, after not having the fanfare they were hoping for this season, Big Brother brought it back for season 11. In week 4 of BB11, Big Brother held a fan vote to give away a mystery power. Jeff Schroeder received the most votes, and with it, he won the Coup d'etat, and he had 2 weeks to use it. In week 5, Shima won the HOH, and she was looking to target Russell. So she nominated Russell and Lydia for eviction, and come eviction night, Russell was going to get voted out. But Jeff was looking to make a different move. So he stood up and tore all of Shima's plans apart. Jeff officially overthrew Shima as the HOH, took both Russell and Lydia off the block, replaced them with 2 of Shima's allies, Natalie and Jesse, and then the vote took place immediately afterwards, and Jesse was evicted. This was clearly so overpowered and broken, and having it take place right before the eviction vote makes it even more powerful, because it gives the other players basically no time to strategize or plan around it. But since Jeff won it in a competition, I can at least be okay with that. Oh wait, he didn't win shit. He just got it because he was a fan favorite. He did nothing to earn this power, and that makes it so much worse in my eyes. This is by far the most unbalanced version of an HOH overthrowing power, and because of it, it's my least favorite example on this list.
Congratulations, Jeff. You have been selected by America to receive the power of... what? Coup d'etat?
Coup d'etat.
Okay.
Jeff has the ability to overthrow the head of household, Shima.
This is some...
Would you like to take Russell off the block?
I would.
Would you like to take Lydia off the block?
I would like to take Lydia off the block.
Who would you like to put in her place?
Natalie. Sorry, buddy.
Jesse, you are now on the chopping block.
Getting Jesse out was my #1 goal.
I'm sitting there, and I'm looking prim and proper, but what I really wanted to do was wring his neck.
Made a deal with the devil, Jeff.
I didn't make a deal with anybody. I used the power to advance myself as you guys were walking to the finals unless somebody did something.
Right now, you're being power hungry and you're not thinking about your game.
Really?
Keeping Russell in the game is not a good idea.
Why not? He's gonna take you out.
Jesse, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Looks like me and the producers need to have a little bit of a talk.
Why are you guys so angry? Because you guys lost some power now?
Immediately following Big Brother 11, we get to an example that isn't technically an overthrown HOH, but it effectively acted identical to one. So I'm counting it. In week 5 of Big Brother 12, Matt Hoffman, the HOH for the week, opened Pandora's box and received the diamond power of Veto, which allowed him to take one player off the block at one of the next 2 evictions, right before the eviction vote, and replace them with whoever he wanted. If you didn't put the pieces together yet, this was basically just one half of a coup d'etat. Just a d'état, if you will. Week 6 rolled around, and Matt found himself on the block next to his ally Lane. Brendan, the HOH at the time, was feeling pretty good about himself, because he was about to get Matt evicted, who had just evicted his lover Rachel the week before. But at the eviction, the rain before the parade came pouring down. Right before the players went to vote, Matt stood up, used his diamond power of Veto to save himself, and Brendan had to watch as Matt replaced himself with Kathy, who was then evicted unanimously because she wasn't as positionally protected as Lane was. Although Brendan was technically still the HOH here, Matt basically barged in and was like, no, let me take over. And he put his own nominee on the block, who was then evicted. The worst part for Brendan is that because his HOH wasn't actually overthrown, he wasn't allowed to compete in the following HOH, and Matt was. So I would say this is actually much worse than being officially overthrown. Due to the nature of this again happening right before the eviction vote took place, I put this right up there with Jeff's coup d'etat as the second most overpowered version of an HOH takeover.
Congratulations, you now possess the diamond power of Veto. I basically pick and choose who goes home both this week and next week.
All right, Brendan, it's no secret I've been on your radar because here I sit on the block like a chump. For that, Brendan, I say congratulations on coming so close to achieving your goal. But better luck next time, you big dummy. I'm gonna use the diamond power of Veto tonight to save myself.
I'm pissed, Matt. You call me a big dummy? I mean, come on, man. You know that I'm way more intelligent than that. Way more intelligent than you.
And unlike the regular veto, it also gives him the power to name the replacement.
The only one that I want up here I can't put up. I just need to get the house as competitive as possible. Some cleanup that needs to be done next week. Kat, I'm so sorry. Got a job to do.
Kathy, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
I cannot believe this just happened. I am upset that Matt's off the block, and that 3-headed monster that I was trying to get out of this house still has 3 heads.
After 2 back-to-back seasons of effective HOH overthrows, Big Brother decided to cool it with the earth-shattering powers. But only for like 8 seasons. In Big Brother 20, the BB App Store was a twist that gave out 3 powers across the first 3 weeks to whoever the fans deemed to be the most trending. And Bailey received the identity theft power, which would allow her to anonymously take over the HOH's nominations at the nomination ceremony. This was definitely less powerful on the overthrowing scale, because Bailey wouldn't get to make the renom if the veto was used, and it didn't grant her immunity, so she could still get backdoored. And it was happening at the very beginning of the week as opposed to right before the eviction. So this wasn't technically an overthrow, and it was just a nomination hijacking. But none of that even ended up mattering, because Bailey was evicted before she had the chance to use it. No worries though, said the Big Brother Power Disbursement team. We'll just try again next year. Well, actually, not really, but there's like 3 half examples, so let's just quickly bulldoze through those. Ovi won a power in week 1 called the Nightmare Power that would allow him to void the HOH's initial nominations if he didn't like them, but Ovi didn't get to pick the replacement nominees and the HOH would, so it's not an overthrow. In week 3, Christy won a Diamond Power of Veto, but it didn't work like Matt did in Big Brother 12. Instead, Christy had 4 weeks where she could upgrade that week's Golden Power of Veto into a Diamond Power of Veto at the veto ceremony, meaning that the veto winner that week could make the replacement instead of the HOH. But guess what? She never chose to use it, and it went wasted. And then lastly, at the final 8, America voted Nick to become America's prankster for some reason. And he basically overthrew/hijacked half of Holly's HOH by having control of one of her nominations. But it didn't even amount to much because Holly used her one nomination to put Nick on the block, and he was evicted anyways. Honestly, I'm kind of mad at myself for bringing these up, because this half overthrow opens up a whole can of worms. And now I'm gonna have to backtrack. Back in Big Brother 20, the hacker twist was basically the exact same thing as America's Prankster, except you actually had to earn the power instead of being liked by America. Haley won the first hacker competition, used it to overthrow half of Angela's HOH by taking down Scotty and nominating Tyler, but the veto was used to save Tyler, so it was kind of like a failed overthrow. Casey won the second hacker competition and used it to overthrow half of Haley's HOH by taking herself down and nominating Rockstar, and this did actually act as an effective overthrow because Rockstar was evicted by the end of the week. Moving back even further, you have Michelle winning the co-HOH power in Big Brother 18, which again just allowed Michelle to take control of one of the nominations that week, but Michelle was aligned with Natalie, who was the HOH that week, and it didn't act as a takeover at all. And then, if we really dive into the gray zone, there's all the garbage with the Roadkill extra nominee and the MVP extra nominee, but that's not actually taking power away from the HOH and instead just adding a third nominee, and there's just too much going on now, and the rabbit hole gets too deep. So basically, none of what I just talked about ever amounted to an actual overthrow, because the HOH got to remain in power for the week and only had some of their abilities restricted. But I can see the argument if you wanted to include Casey's hacker win as something similar to an HOH overthrow. Everything else, though, ignore it.
I'm infuriated. Once again, I was blindsided, and my best friend went home on my HOH.
Okay, now that that rant is over, we can get back to the actual overthrows. And I promise, everything from here on out is 100% grade A purified overthrow action. At the final 9 of Big Brother 23, Claire had saved up enough BB bucks throughout the 3 weeks that the High Rollers Room twist was active in order to compete to try and win the Coin of Destiny. Claire beat Derek F., who was throwing it, in the anonymous competition to earn the Coin of Destiny. But the rules for this were pretty odd. Tiffany, the current HOH, nominated Kyland and Sarah Beth for eviction. But when Claire secretly activated her power, this brought out a literal coin for Tiffany to flip. If it landed on tails, then Tiffany would remain the HOH, and the power would be squashed. But if it landed on heads, then Claire would anonymously overthrow Tiffany for the week and become the invisible HOH. As luck would have it, the coin did land on Claire's side, and Claire officially dethroned Tiffany as HOH, and she got to remake the nominations. Kyland and Sarah Beth were taken off the block, and Claire chose to nominate Kyland and Sarah Beth. Yeah, so Claire and Tiffany were in cahoots here, and they both wanted the same thing this week. So really, this twist played out with a whimper, because everyone in the house was able to figure out that Claire had won it, and Claire sent home Sarah Beth, who was Tiffany's target anyways. But it's technically a total overthrow, so it's on this list.
I feel pretty safe with Tiffany as HOH, but there's the chance that someone could overthrow her and put me on the block.
I don't want anyone to mess with Tiff's week. I do want to play the Coin of Destiny.
And with a score of 3, there is a winner.
This was me. I finally won something. I think I have a 50% chance right now of becoming the new HOH.
The coin has landed on heads.
I've been dethroned.
I elected to keep the nominations the same because I do respect Tiffany's HOH.
3 seasons later, we got to Big Brother 26, and we have a legit overthrow on our hands, complete with all the fixins and the drama. On night 1, Quinn won the Deepfake HOH power, which allowed for him to anonymously strip one of the first 4 HOHs of all of their power by completely taking over their nominations and the replacement nominee. After Angela, Quinn's ex-ally turned kinda enemy, won the week 4 HOH, Quinn was like, yeah, I can't let her have this power, I need to take over. So he took over Angela's HOH. A deep-fake replica of Angela appeared in the living room and listed off the 3 players that Quinn chose to nominate instead: Tucker, Cedric, and Mackenzie. Then, after Tucker won the veto, Quinn still got to name the replacement, that being Rubina. This was definitely the most powerful version of an HOH takeover since Jeff's coup d'etat, because unlike the Coin of Destiny, it had a 100% chance of working. Quinn could use it at any point in the 4 weeks, which was a pretty wide window, and Quinn was allowed to win the following HOH, which Claire and Jeff weren't allowed to do. But that kind of makes it all the funnier because in the end, Quinn's reign backfired and his ally Cedric was blindsided and evicted. Now, technically speaking, Angela wasn't technically overthrown. She was still the HOH in week 4, but she just didn't have any power with it. But come on, that is basically an overthrow.
Congratulations, Quinn. Your game has been upgraded, and you have won the Deepfake HOH.
That's what I'm talking about. Angela winning this HOH sucks. They just forced my hand and put me in a corner where I have to utilize the upgrade. I get to control the nomination ceremony and do it all through the lens of a deepfake Angela.
House guests, I will name my 3 nominees right here and right now.
No.
The first house guest I have nominated is Tucker.
No, I didn't.
Mackenzie. Cedric.
But yeah, so, put people up. Me and Tucker are beefing to the death. We're gonna keep battling, so I put you up.
I'm gonna make sure that Quinn does not get what he wants this week.
Cedric, you are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Oh my God.
So being the reason he went home, that does hurt. I'm sorry.
And now, the most recent time an HOH has successfully been overthrown was in week 4 of Big Brother 27. In the week 2 HOH competition, Mickey won a secret power, which would allow her to take over any one HOH in the pre-jury, starting right at the beginning of the week. However, there was a bit of a twist here. The HOH that was being overthrown would get a 3-minute one-on-one session with every player in the house. And if, after that, the HOH could correctly guess that Mickey was the one attempting to overthrow their HOH, then the power would fail. And the HOH would get to keep being the HOH. However, if the HOH guessed incorrectly, then Mickey would overthrow them and take over as queen for the week. The thing is, almost everyone in the house assumed that Mickey had a power. She just didn't do a great job denying that she had a power. So for a couple weeks, I just assumed that this power would be completely wasted because only a fool wouldn't guess that Mickey had it once the power was activated. But she still had to try and use it. Once Riley won the HOH in week 4, this felt like the perfect time for Mickey to attempt the Hail Mary, because Riley was going to nominate Mickey, Morgan, and Ashley. So Mickey activated her power, and like I said, it seemed like Riley originally assumed that Mickey had the power. But then, out of nowhere, Keanu and Riley started talking, and they were both convinced that Ashley had the power. And during Ashley's one-on-one with Riley, I guess she acted a little too suspicious for Riley's liking. Mickey did a good enough job during her one-on-one to mask the fact that it was her, so after all the one-on-ones were done, Riley officially locked in his guess of Ashley. This was obviously incorrect, and Mickey successfully overthrew Riley as the HOH with one of the worst kept secrets in all of Big Brother history. Riley was so furious in this moment, and he started swearing at Mickey for being a liar and a whatever. But you know what the real kicker is? For every other example that we have talked about so far, the HOH that was overthrown was given immunity for the week, which prevented the overthrower from nominating them. But for whatever reason, Riley was not given immunity. Maybe it was because he had a chance to regain control of his HOH, whereas most other examples didn't. Or maybe it was because the producers felt like being extra messy this week. But yeah, Riley was just as vulnerable to be nominated as everyone else was. And because he had such a fiery reaction to being overthrown, Mickey decided, hey, you know what? I should probably throw this guy on the block. And she nominated him. Now, as I'm writing this, it doesn't look like Riley is likely to go home, and I'll be honest, Mickey as HOH has made some of the worst decisions as an HOH ever, but you know what? The overthrowing aspect of it was very fun.
I got a power. This is huge. Hearing that my name, Morgan, and Ashley's names are potential noms, I can potentially overthrow Riley as the HOH.
The HOH interrogation power has been activated, which means I have been dethroned as head of household. Your ass is grass. I don't care. It's game on after this. I'm pissed, and you with the wrong one.
We both know it's Ashley.
Do you want safety?
Yes, obviously.
So do you want to tell me who?
I genuinely don't know.
The person I believe dethroned me is Ashley. You lied to my face, Mickey.
I didn't.
Why are you taking my HOH?
It's a game.
It's a game, it's a game.
It's okay.
You wasted it.
I didn't.
I'm absolutely pissed off and irritated.
And there we go. In general, I'm not a big fan of introducing powers that allow an HOH to be overthrown. Winning HOH is supposed to be guaranteed safety and control over the week's nominations, and it just feels unfair to rip that away from someone after they earned it in a competition. But I will say, I'm not the biggest Riley fan. And it was so funny seeing him work that hard for HOH just to get it ripped away from him. And it was doubly funny seeing him not even get safety, even if I don't understand why he didn't get it. But, oh well. Big Brother is not a fair game, and it never really has been. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I, of course, need to give that extra special shout out to all of my YouTube members and patrons who I have no doubt in my mind could have correctly guessed that Mickey was the one overthrowing the HOH and not Ashley. And, as always, here's a clip for you on your way out.
Are you just happy about this turning into a really bad day for him?
Wow, Catherine. Is she not allowed to smile?
Do you have to speak for her?
Catherine, you need to sit down.
I am sad.
Mark, guess what? You hit the jury house way before I did.
I never said I was a great player. Superfan. Yeah, okay, dude. Sit down. I am sitting down, man.